The Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl, and somehow they walked away more dangerous. Sit with the strange part. A franchise wins it all, loses talent across the roster, and the smart voices inside the building still believe next season looks better. One young player barely touched the spotlight. Last year, he is about to take it by force. Keep him in mind, because his second season reshapes how you watch this entire defense. Start with what already happened. Seattle throttled the New England Patriots 29-13, and the run to the title featured 0 turnovers across the whole postseason. No champion had ever done it so clean. Sam Darnold stacked 2 straight Pro Bowls. Jackson Smith-Njigba took home Offensive Player of the Year and earned the richest receiver contract in football. Kenneth Walker carried the Super Bowl as the game's most valuable player and then left for Kansas City. So Seattle spent a first-round pick on a fresh runner. Then came the move nobody noticed. A quiet free agent signing from another team's secondary. A player who began as a 7th-round afterthought and grew into a problem. Why a champion needed him stays sealed for now. Now flip to the other side of the ball. This defense built its name on a secondary so suffocating, opposing coordinators studied it like film homework. The man behind it, defensive coordinator Aiden Durden, kept the core and added pieces. Across the division, the Los Angeles Rams made the loudest move of the offseason, and the whole league applauded. Seattle watched, drafted, and re-signed. One approach builds a dynasty. The other borrows against the future. By the end, you decide which division rival truly got better. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Seahawks and all the NFL content. Can we get 500 likes for Seahawks? Start with the worry everyone kept repeating. Offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak built a top 3 scoring offense, then left to become head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Panic followed. The replacement, Brian Fleury, had never called plays in a game. Critics treated experience as the one thing keeping the offense afloat. They missed the point. Fleury spent 7 seasons on the same coaching tree as Kubiak, learning the same system under the same teacher. Continuity is the whole story here. Fleury worked beside Kubiak in San Francisco, and Sam Darnold backed up the same offense in 2023. The system stays. The language stays. Seattle finished 3rd in the league in scoring last season, proof the system drives the engine, not one play caller. Fleury already said his goal is to maintain what won the title, fast and violent and aggressive in every phase. Darnold told reporters the transition felt smooth, almost seamless, with a playbook he already knows cold, read between the lines. A quarterback who bounced through 7 coordinators in 6 years finally gets stability. For a passer with 2 Pro Bowls and a Super Bowl ring, familiar beats flashy every single time. Here's the new question though. A great system needs weapons, and Seattle lost real production. Kenneth Walker took his Super Bowl trophy to Kansas City. Veteran pieces walked. So the offense leans harder on Jackson Smith-Njigba, now the highest paid receiver in the sport and signed through 2031. And on a young runner, the front office spent premium draft capital to land. The scheme survives. The personnel turns over. Who fills the carries becomes the storyline nobody outside Seattle wants to admit matters. Switch sides, because the soul of this team lives in the secondary. Cornerback Devin Witherspoon plays like a heat-seeking missile, and the front office wants him locked up long-term. Beside him, Josh Jobe, re-signed on a 3-year deal worth up to $24 million. Sit with his path. Philadelphia waived him in 2024. Seattle scooped him off the scrap pile. He turned into a starter on a championship defense, then logged 7 tackles in the Super Bowl itself. The turnover stings in spots. Safety Kobe Bryant signed with the Chicago Bears. Cornerback Rick Woolen, the long-limbed ball hawk, took a 1-year deal with the Philadelphia Eagles. Losing starters wrecks most teams. Seattle treats it as restocking. Defensive coordinator Aiden Durden runs a system where coverage talent rotates in and the standard never drops. The Detroit Lions defensive staff studied this secondary and admitted the obvious. An elite secondary warps everything an offense wants to do. So Seattle reloaded the back end through the draft. A ball-hawking safety named Bud Clark arrived from Texas Christian with 15 college interceptions and 3 team. Captain seasons on his resume. He flips between deep safety and the slot, the exact versatility this scheme craves. Seattle also drafted cornerback Julian Neal out of Arkansas to deepen the rotation. Another young, cheap piece for a unit built to reload. The replacements show up younger, cheaper, and hungrier, and the standard holds. Yet one veteran addition to this group barely earned a headline. And the reason a champion chased him tells you how this front office operates. Keep it filed for later. Here's the part the national media keeps getting wrong. Losing free agents is a feature, not a failure. When Kenneth Walker, Kobe Bryant, and Boy Mafe signed elsewhere for serious money, Seattle did not bleed. The team gains compensatory draft picks in return. Every dollar another team pays a Seahawks free agent becomes a future draft selection. General Manager John Schneider turned departures into a renewable supply of cheap young talent for over a decade. Watch the cycle. Draft well. Develop the player. Re-sign your favorites, or let the rest walk for picks. Then look at the cap sheet. Seattle sits on more than $25 million in space and refuses to splurge. Schneider learned the hard way. Years ago, the team mortgaged picks for stars who got hurt, and the roster had nowhere to pivot. Now flexibility is the religion. The front office keeps powder dry for a midseason injury or a trade deadline swing. Discipline looks boring in June. Discipline wins in December. There is real urgency here too. Zach Charbonnet tore an ACL in the playoffs and might miss the start of the season, so the backfield needed reinforcement now. And then there is the luxury pick. Quarterback Jalen Milroe sits third on the depth chart, exactly where a developmental arm with rare legs belongs. Head coach Mike McDonald said the focus stays on growth, not gimmicks. Seattle wants the long game with him, not a low red zone trick. A team with a settled starter affords patience. So while everyone debates the quarterback room, the young players already on the roster prepare to erupt. One of them was the hook from the opening. This is where the hook pays off. Remember the young player set to seize the spotlight. Meet the 2025 draft class entering year 2, safety. Nick Emenwari flashed rare size and range as a rookie, and coaches compare his ceiling to the best modern safeties in football. Tight end, Elijah Arroyo sat behind veterans early and now tracks toward a real jump in year 2. Guard Gray Zabel locked down a starting job as a rookie. And receiver Torrey Horton works back from a shin injury with real upside. Both young pass catchers arrived with traits no coach teaches. Go deeper into the trenches. Defensive tackle. Riley Mills tore through his final college season until a knee injury at Notre Dame ended it early. He still made noise, even logging a sack in the Super Bowl as a rookie. Healthy now, he slots behind Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy on an interior wrecking crew. Leonard Williams earned second-team All-Pro honors and anchors the whole front. Byron Murphy himself, a former first-round pick, enters his third year primed to feast. The Seahawks did not buy this front. They built it, pick by pick. So the hook resolves. The young player about to explode is not one man. It is a whole class. Emenwari, Arroyo, and Mills turn a champion into a deeper, scarier version of itself. And the front office added a first-round runner in Jadarian Price out of Notre Dame. Veteran edge, DeMarcus Lawrence, returned for more, and Derek Hall signed a fresh extension. Now raise your eyes to the rest of the division, because one rival chose the opposite path. The Los Angeles Rams made the loudest splash of the entire offseason. They traded for Myles Garrett, the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, fresh off a record 23-sack season. Garrett even waived a rare no-trade clause to force the move. The cost stunned the league. Los Angeles shipped a 2027 first-round pick, a 2028 second, a 2029 third, and a young star pass rusher named Jared Verse to Cleveland. One trade, 3 future picks gone, a Hall of Fame talent. in. The headlines scream Super Bowl favorite, pairing reigning most valuable player Matthew Stafford with the league's top defender. Now look closer. Jared Verse won Defensive Rookie of the Year and made 2 Pro Bowls before his 24th birthday. He generated pressure after pressure in his first 2 professional seasons. The Rams gave up a rising young force and a stack of premium picks for a 30-year-old great. Garrett finishes plays. Verse lived in the backfield. The gap between them is real but narrow, and the age gap runs the other direction entirely. Here's the divisional math. Seattle plays the Rams twice every year. And last season, those games turned into street fights. Now stack the philosophies side by side. The Rams borrowed against 3 drafts for a short window. Seattle keeps drafting, keeps its picks, and keeps the standard. The San Francisco 49ers chase health on their defensive line. The Arizona Cardinals scramble to catch up. One team in this division built something renewable. The reveal you waited for since the opening sits 1 beat away. Time to open the move nobody noticed. Remember the quiet free agent from another secondary. His name is Rodney Thomas, and Seattle signed him from the Indianapolis Colts on a 1-year deal. An Ivy League product out of Yale, a 7th-round pick back in 2022. The kind of signing the highlight show skip right past. Look at the body of work, though. Thomas played 68 games, racked up 114 tackles, broke up 10 passes, and grabbed 6 interceptions, with a chunk of it coming as a rookie. He even picked off Russell Wilson on a Thursday night during his rookie year. Super athletic, high football intelligence, a safety who reads routes before the snap. Seattle did not need a star at the position. It needed a smart, rangy veteran to steady the room behind the young talent, and Thomas fits the mold the scouts keep targeting. Defensive coordinator Aiden Durda loves defenders who diagnose plays fast, and Thomas does precisely so from the back end. Drop him into a secondary already starring Devin Witherspoon and the rookie ball hawk Bud Clark, and the depth turns frightening. This is the reveal. A champion did not chase a flashy name. It found value, again, the same way it always does. For a 1-year price, the downside is nothing, and the upside is a starter-level insurance policy on a championship secondary. Rodney Thomas answers the depth question the departures created, and he does it for pennies. The headlines went to the Rams. The smart move happened in silence in Seattle. And when the secondary stays elite, the whole defense bends the game to its will. So what does all of this add up to for the season ahead? Pull it all together. The Rams made the loud move. Seattle made the sustainable one. Resolve the rivalry question now. The team, built through the draft, disciplined with the cap, deep in the secondary, and stable on offense, holds every long-term advantage in this division. The front office still has Devin Witherspoon and Jackson Smith-Njigba anchoring the core, with more extensions coming. A borrowed window slams shut fast. A draft engine keeps humming. No team has gone back-to-back in years, and the league is built to drag champions down. Seattle ignores the noise. The roster runs younger than the title team, the cap stays healthy, and the standard never moved. The Rams spent their future chasing 1 season. Seattle invested in 5. So here's the call you will argue about. The Seattle Seahawks win the NFC West again, stack 12 wins minimum, and nobody in this division is built to stop them over a full season. The Rams peak and fade. Seattle reloads and repeats. Printed. Defending champions with a renewable roster do not rebuild. They sharpen. Now tell me where you land. Do the Seahawks repeat as champions, or does the Rams blockbuster flip the division on its head? Drop your win total in the comments and your verdict on the Garrett trade, then subscribe before the next breakdown lands. Because the schedule release changes everything, and the next breakdown maps the exact games where Seattle repeats or stumbles. The standard is set. The engine is running. Seattle is built to last.